What's happening everyone, my name is Alex and welcome back. In today's video we are checking out an affordable robot vacuum from 3i. What we have here today is called the 3i G10 Plus, and this is the world's first robot vacuum with debris compression and extendable mop. So these days with most robot vacuums you typically get that big base station. Well, that is not the case with the 3i G10 Plus here. So this is the charging station that we get with this robot vacuum. So very tiny, you can basically have this anywhere in the house and it's not gonna take that much space. And even though it doesn't have a base station, you don't actually have to clean the dustbin from this vacuum for up to 60 days. So this vacuum collects everything in this dustbin right here. This has a capacity of 1 liter and then it compresses everything in here. So you're not gonna have to empty this for up to 60 days. You also don't need to use any bags or anything. So you just empty this every couple of months and you're all set. Inside this we also have a UV light that will kill any bacteria or anything that could be growing inside the dustbin. So with a vacuum like this you don't need a bulky base for the vacuum to empty itself out, but you also don't have to empty it every couple of days because it will compress everything inside this big dustbin here. And before we go any further, I also want to mention that this video is sponsored by 3i. Alright, so when it comes to vacuuming, this has a suction power of 18,000 pascals, so a lot of suction power. So it doesn't matter what kind of surface this robot vacuum will go over, it will be able to pick up anything that you may have on the floor. The brush at the bottom here also moves up and down. I believe this is called a floating roller brush. So even if it goes over carpet, it can lift up, go down, so it does the best possible cleaning as well. Even though this is quite an affordable robot vacuum, it does offer a very advanced navigation system. So the manufacturer calls this the Apex Vision, and this is a combination of LiDAR, dual 3D structured light, and an AI camera. And of course, we also have our bumper on the front of the robot vacuum right here. So if the vacuum would be to bump into anything inside your home, it would basically touch it with this bumper here, and it would kind of turn around or move around the object. Of course, this will be able to map out your entire house. It knows exactly where it's been, it knows exactly where it has to go, and of course it also knows how to go back to the docking station to charge when it's low on power or whenever it's done a cleaning cycle, of course. This also features obstacle avoidance, and it can also identify over 100 types of objects. So if you do leave something on the floor, this will basically go around whatever you left on the floor. So it's not going to get stuck when it goes on a cleaning cycle, basically. This vacuum also features what the manufacturer calls AI dirt scan. So the vacuum is able to identify what kind of dirt there is, and it can increase the suction, it can increase the water flow, so it can leave your floors spotless. So a very handy feature, because this way the vacuum does everything. You don't really have to do much. The vacuum knows how to do it all. The vacuum can also reach the edges of the walls and the corners. So it has this side brush. The manufacturer calls this the ultra rich expandable side brush. So this can expand out and it can basically reach the edges here, pushing all the dirt towards the suction hole underneath the vacuum. And the mop can also expand out, so you're not gonna have any areas that doesn't get cleaned. With a lot of vacuums, you do get about this much on the edge of the wall that doesn't typically get cleaned. Well, that is not the case with this one. This one can get very, very close to the edge of the wall there. And talking about vacuuming and of course carpets, you can also customize what the vacuum does when it gets to a carpet. So first of all, if it was washing the floor, so if it was mopping the floor, it will lift up that mop so the carpet doesn't get wet. But from the 3i app, you can actually customize what the vacuum does when it reaches carpets. For example, I have mine set to increase the suction power and it reaches carpets, but depending on your setup at home, you can customize anything from the app. And since we are talking about the app, well, from the app you can basically customize anything about the robot. So if you want to set a schedule so the robot does all the cleaning when you're not at home, you definitely can. You can set do not go zones. So let's say you don't want the vacuum to go in half of the living room, you can just make a do not go zone in there. You can send the vacuum to a certain area in your house from the map there, so you can actually see all the rooms and the map that the vacuum did when it first went around your house. So everything is very customizable from the app, and you can also control this with your voice with Google's Assistant or Amazon Alexa. So everything is customizable, from the app, the suction power, how wet the mop should be. Basically everything that you can think of is customizable from the 3i app. So to quickly conclude this video, if you're looking for an affordable robot vacuum that has many flagship-like features, well, look no further, because the 3i G10 Plus here is definitely a great vacuum that you should consider. As always, I will leave some links in the video's description so you can check this out. I absolutely love this dustbin with the compression. It has been removed. I wish more vacuums would actually bring this technology, because I love the idea of not having to empty the dustbin every so often. And I also love the fact that I don't have to use any bags, because as we all know, with those vacuums that have the base, you typically have to buy one of those bags every month, every 2 months. Well, like this, you don't have to buy any bags to empty this. You just empty it and you just put it back on, and it's a done deal. If you guys have any questions, feel free to leave some questions down below, and I'll try to answer whatever questions you may have. Thanks for watching. Thanks 3i for sponsoring this video, and I will see you guys later.